Ever feel like you're on that treadmill, working hard
Uh,
and going nowhere?
yeah.
We're talking about the rat race today.
The rat race, uh-huh.
And get this, the term, it goes back almost 100 years
Wow.
to the Great Depression.
Yeah.
People back then, they were just struggling to survive.
Yeah, I can see the parallels to today for sure. It's interesting, that a phrase from back then still fits so well now.
Right. So this feeling of being stuck,
Mm-hmm.
this work and spend cycle,
Yeah,
is it even possible to break free?
absolutely it is. And it's not about, like going off the grid or anything. It's about making choices,
Okay.
smart choices that give you more control over your life.
I like that. So it's about what, like designing an escape route.
That's a great way to put it, yeah. An escape route.
Okay, so where do we start with this escape route?
Well, I think the most powerful things you can do
Okay.
is to build a strong emergency fund.
An emergency fund, so like a financial safety net kind of thing.
Exactly. Think of it like a financial fortress, you know,
Oh, yeah.
to protect yourself.
So how much should we be aiming for with this fortress?
A good rule of thumb is to have enough to cover like 6 months of essential expenses.
6 months. That sounds like a lot, especially if you're already feeling stretched thin.
I know it can sound daunting, but hear me out.
Okay.
Even if you start small, even like $50 or $100 a week,
Okay.
it adds up. It really does.
Yeah, I guess so. Over time, that would definitely make a difference.
Absolutely. And you'll be surprised how quickly it grows. And think about this, the peace of mind. That comes from knowing you have that cushion.
Yeah, that's true.
I
Like
think-
if the car breaks down or some unexpected bill comes up, it's less stressful.
Exactly. It's not about panicking. It's about having options, having that security. And that brings us to our next step on our escape route, tackling debt.
Debt. Ugh.
Yeah.
Everyone's favorite topic.
Yeah.
Yeah. It does feel like a huge weight sometimes.
It limits your choices, keeps you stuck in that cycle of working just to pay it off. It's like running with a parachute on your back.
Okay, that's a great visual. So how do we ditch that parachute? Start tackling that debt.
It starts with a mindset shift, honestly. Instead of feeling like you're entitled
Right.
to buy things you can't afford,
Okay.
embrace delayed gratification. Tell yourself, I'm going to crush this debt and then I'll enjoy that purchase, knowing it's really mine.
So it's about being more intentional with our money, building that financial strength first. But paying off debt, it takes a lot of discipline. Any specific strategies that can help?
Absolutely. One very popular one is the debt snowball method.
Okay, I've heard of that. But remind me how it works.
So you list all your debts, from smallest to largest, it doesn't matter the interest rate, and then you focus on paying off that smallest one first, while making minimum payments on all the others.
So it's kind of like knocking out those smaller debts first to build momentum.
Exactly. It's like those small wins keep you motivated. And once that first debt is gone, you roll that payment amount into the next smallest one. And so on. It's like,
Like a snowball,
Exactly.
picking up speed.
Yes, as it rolls down the hill.
Okay. So we're building our emergency fund. We're tackling debt. It really does feel like we're building this escape route.
Uh-huh.
But I have a feeling there's more to it.
You're right. There is more.
What's next? What's the next step in breaking free?
Okay, so imagine this. Emergency fund is going strong, you're knocking out debt, feeling good. But to really, truly break free, you need to think about diversifying your income.
Diversifying income. Okay, that sounds a bit intimidating. Is that something anyone can do? Or is this like for Wall Street people?
Anyone can do this. It's not just for the high rollers.
Okay.
It's about creating multiple streams of income. So you're not just relying on that one job.
So instead of putting all our eggs in one basket,
Right.
we spread out the risk.
Exactly.
Okay. So what does that look like, practically speaking?
Well, have you ever thought about online business?
Oh, interesting. Like what?
Like creating and selling an online course?
An online course?
Yeah, based on your skills or something you're passionate about.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I do have some hobbies. Maybe I could teach others.
Exactly.
That's fun.
Yeah. Or, maybe you're a good writer. You could do freelance writing. There's a huge need for that,
So from online courses to freelance writing, there are a lot of options out there.
Yeah. It's like a whole new world.
It is.
Yeah.
But starting something new can be scary. How do we overcome that fear and actually take the leap?
Just start small. You don't have to quit your job right away.
All
Just
right.
start dedicating an hour, 2 hours a week
Okay.
to exploring your options, do some research, build those skills.
Break it down into manageable steps.
Exactly.
And who knows, maybe that side hustle
Mm-hmm.
turns into something bigger.
You got it. And it's not even just about the money. It's about that control, that flexibility,
It's about freedom.
Yeah,
Designing your own schedule, working from anywhere.
Yeah.
That's empowering.
it is. And there are tons of resources out there. Communities, courses, mentors.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Connect with people on a similar path. Learn from their experiences.
Okay, so we've got the emergency fund, we're tackling debt, we're exploring ways to diversify income.
Yeah,
It feels like we're really building this foundation to get out of that rat race.
I think so, yes.
Anything else we should keep in mind on this journey?
One thing we haven't touched on is mindfulness.
Mhm.
Mindfulness with our spending.
Mindful spending. Tell me more about that.
It's about being aware of where your money goes, making conscious choices about what you buy, instead of
Mhm.
just buying things without thinking about it.
I'm so guilty of that. Impulse buys, online sales.
We all do it, right? But one way to shift from that mindless spending to mindful spending
Okay.
is to simply pause
Pause.
before you buy something. Ask yourself, do I really need this? Will this bring me joy?
That's such a simple tip. Just hit that pause button.
Yeah.
I can see how that would help.
Yeah, to avoid those regrets later.
Exactly.
And mindful spending, it's not about deprivation.
Okay.
It's about alignment. Does this purchase align with my values, my goals? If you're working towards financial freedom, maybe those experiences are more important than those material things.
It makes me think about, like, keeping up with the Joneses.
Yeah.
That pressure to buy the latest gadget.
Yeah, that trap. It's easy to fall into, especially with social media.
It's like this treadmill of consumerism,
Mm-hmm.
always wanting more.
Yeah, but you have the power to step off that treadmill.
I like that.
Yeah.
Stepping off the treadmill.
Yeah.
Defining success on your own terms.
Exactly.
So mindful spending is about alignment, aligning our spending with our values and goals.
That's it. And it's really about, aligning your spending with your values, with your goals. If you're working towards financial freedom, maybe experiences are more important than just stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I hear that. It's so easy to get caught up in that that whole comparison thing. Like keeping up with the Joneses.
Yeah, for sure.
Always feeling like you need to have the latest gadget or the bigger house just to, like, fit in.
It's a real trap, especially with, social media always showing us the perfect life.
It really is. It's like we're all on this treadmill, always striving for more, but never really feeling satisfied.
Yeah. But you know what? You have the power to step off that treadmill.
I like that. Stepping off the treadmill.
Yeah.
And really, defining success on your own terms.
Exactly. It's about creating a life that feels authentic to you, fulfilling, not just, dictated by what other people think. And that's a journey worth taking, even if it means, taking the road less traveled.
Absolutely. This has been such an inspiring conversation. I've learned so much, and I feel like more hopeful, about the possibilities.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that.
As we wrap up this deep dive, I'm
Yeah.
going to leave our listeners with a question, something to think about. If true freedom is the goal,
Okay.
what's one small step you can take today to start moving in that direction?
Oh, that's a good question. And I think the answer is going to be different for everyone, but the important thing is to just start somewhere. Don't get overwhelmed by the big picture. Just focus on that first step.
Right. It doesn't have to be this huge thing.
No, not at all.
It could be setting up a budget
Mm.
or, researching side hustles.
Mm-hmm. Or even just taking some time to think about what really brings you joy.
Those are great ideas.
Yeah, because every journey,
Mm-hmm.
starts with that first step.
So choose to take yours today.
Yes, and remember, you don't have to do this alone. Reach out to friends, find online communities, maybe find a mentor. There's so much support out there.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for sharing your insights today. It's been a real pleasure diving deep into this with you.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's been great.
And to our listeners, we hope this episode has inspired you to break free from that rat race and create a life that's truly your own.
That's right.
Remember, freedom is a choice,
It is.
so choose wisely.
Choose wisely.
It's incredible how much we've covered today.
Yeah.
We started feeling trapped in that rat race, and now we're mapping out our escape route. Emergency funds, debt strategies, even diversifying income. And of course, mindful spending. What do you think is the most important thing for our listeners to take away from all of this?
You know, if I had to pick just one thing,
Okay.
it would be this. You have more control than you think over your own life. Freedom, it doesn't just happen. You have to create it.
So we're not just waiting to be rescued.
Exactly.
We have the keys
Yeah.
to our own freedom.
Yeah. And that shift in mindset, that's huge.
It is. It's powerful.
You go from feeling like a victim
Yeah.
to being the architect of your own life.
It's like flipping the script,
Right.
going from scarcity to abundance.
Totally. We're rewriting the rules of the game. We don't have to work ourselves to death just to keep up with everyone else.
No, we can choose to prioritize our own well-being, our passions, and our freedom over, those material things.
It's about breaking free from that comparison trap,
Yeah.
defining success on your own terms.
Exactly. It's about building a life that feels authentic, fulfilling, not just one that's based on, external pressure and what other people expect. And honestly, that's a journey worth taking.
Absolutely.
Even if it means going against the grain a little bit.
It's worth it.
This has been so inspiring, truly. Before we go, I want to leave our listeners with something to think about. If true freedom is the goal, like we've been talking about, what is one tiny thing, just one small step you can take today, right now, to get a little bit closer to that?
That's a great question. And the answer is going to be different for everyone, right?
Yeah.
But the most important thing is just to start.
Yeah.
Don't get overwhelmed by the big picture.
Just one step.
One little step.
It could be, what? Setting up a budget? Maybe looking into some side hustle ideas? Or even just honestly having a conversation with yourself about what brings you joy.
Yeah. Because it all starts with that first step.
Choose to take that step today.
Today is the day.
And you don't have to do it alone. There's so much support out there. Friends, online communities, even mentors.
You've got this.
Well, thank you again so much for sharing all of your wisdom with us today.
Oh, my pleasure.
It's been fantastic having you here. And to our listeners, we hope this deep dive has sparked something in you, that desire to break free and build a life that truly reflects, who you are.
Yeah.
Because remember, freedom, it really is a choice. So choose wisely. Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll catch you in the next deep dive.